or whipped or what like.
You don't think if they caught like a group of them dancing, quote unquote, they wouldn't like extremely punish all of them and like make sure they can't meet up after hours or whatever? I don't know. It doesn't.
Don't fact check me. I'm right.
No. You ready?
I am so ready.
Are you ready?
I think
Good.
I'm ready.
Okay. Put your pants back on.
Put it back. In the meme tier list we did, there should have been Blue's Clues in there.
What memes are from Blue's Clues?
Are you ready? Or
is that
where like he breaks the fourth wall by looking at it? Like, have you seen this?
I don't know if people use that as a meme though. I don't. There's got to be like a subgenre of memes.
There was a Reddit thread made yesterday of somebody saying, "What's a kink that you're afraid to admit to your significant other that you want to try but you really want them to do?" And somebody put on there in a sincere comment. It was like one of the first comments. It was probably still a meme, but their comment was like a paragraph of how they really want to play out a sexual fantasy they have of SpongeBob.
Why?
I don't know. But it was like sandy cheeks, and then
I mean, why did they name her that?
I don't know. They were asking for it, honestly. So he wanted someone with like sandy cheeks and SpongeBob, and he wanted his wife to dress up as sandy cheeks. And then the rest of the comments, and I got to this post like 20 minutes after it had been opened, like put up.
Okay.
And it was just a battleground of people making fun of this person. And every comment was like, it's probably really niche. I don't know if anybody else have really done this, but just like, I really want her to be sponged on my bob because I'm ready. And like I don't know about you guys, but like, I just want to be wrapped up in Squidward's tentacles. Like, I don't know if it's just a me thing. And the whole comment section was just everybody jumping on the bandwagon of like SpongeBob. SpongeBob's my king. That's what I want. I'm ready.
I want to work in her chum bucket, you know? Gross.
I want to
just be normal.
I want to give her my Mr. Krabs, if you know what I mean.
No. What do you mean?
I have crabs. I want to give it to her.
Kate, I've never had crabs. Is that
okay?
Can you not just shave? Does that not get rid of them?
I don't know. What is crabs? Is it just like lice?
I think they're just pubic lice.
I feel like it's really easy to get rid of. Is it? Right?
But shouldn't it be?
Like
literally, can't you? Like, you can just get rid of lice by shaving. Yeah. Right? Why can't you just?
Is that what shaving does for you?
Wow. Yeah, if you do it right.
He has the Manscaped lawnmower like 5,000.
Well, so it's that's a good idea. It's not.
Sorry, what's this good idea?
So, are you embarrassed when you're shaving your genitals? You need our new privacy sounds, and it plays a different audio to cover up the sound of a razor.
What would it play? I was thinking you go to the bathroom to go shave and it plays Joe Rogan's best moments.
There you go. Or like, what are you doing in there? I'm practicing my violin. Ow, cut myself. How? I said it wasn't a good idea.
Have you ever cut yourself while shaving?
Yes.
I got a new razor a number of years back. And I used to have a guard on my old one that I was able to shave the nether regions with really easily, and it was fine. It was good. Mm-hmm. And this new one, I was using it like
guard. That's a good idea.
That I was using it, and I was using it with the same gusto and like familiarity or comfortableness that I would have my old one, not knowing or noticing that the guard was more of a scoop type of one. So when you get down to the sack, it scooped up, and I had 5 like centimeter long curled up bits where it right into my. It hurt. That shit hurted.
Yeah.
It was not a good time. It was bad. It hurt a lot. It was a bad time for me with shaving because I'm bald, and around that same time, I was shaving. I know, and I was still like new to shaving with a razor at the time, and I'm going with one hand where I have the razor, and the other hand's trailing behind to see if I missed anywhere, and I'm going through, and I'm like, oh, I missed a spot up here. So I take the Gillette Fusion 5, which I was using at the time, and instead of lifting it up and moving it over and putting it back down to shave, I just went whoosh.
Smart. Shortcut.
Yeah, short cut. Yeah, I gave myself like an 1.5 inch long cut on the top of my head, which was painful.
I
It was so bad.
I thought about this when I started shaving, obviously, as a person.
You do it how? Oh my god.
What those fingers do, Braden? Oh yeah, nice and juicy. Damn.
It takes me a minute, but I'm good when I do it.
It's hard to get in at the beginning, but then once you do it, it's like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I when I first started shaving, I would be afraid, like, how am I gonna take these sharp blades, several of them, and drag them across my skin, and it's just gonna be fine? That doesn't sound real.
Right.
It sounds like a conspiracy theory, fake moon landing, fake razors.
Yeah.
But even still now, I think about that every once in a while. I'm like, how
Every once in a while, every time.
does this work? Well, I mean, I don't need to think about it every time. Sometimes just do it. You know, it's like routine.
It's in the back of my head. I'm like, this is the time. Like,
It's in the back of your head, and you're like, it's gonna happen.
yeah, well, I've cut myself, like, even now, like, I've been shaving for a number of years, every single day, and I still will cut myself every once in a while because I'll, like, make a small error.
I feel like the head's got to be harder.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think that was an adequate test. Okay, ready?
Gotta go with the same gusto.
Yeah. But, so I've used an electric razor once.
Mhm.
Down
Yeah.
under.
Yeah. Down
On,
under.
so, well, obviously, like, the whole patch is fine. But the actual specifics, the sensitive bits, cut myself one time, and I don't know why you would ever use an electric razor. They're too greedy.
They are greedy.
They snip,
They want
snip,
more.
snip, snip, snip.
They want so much more. They keep grabbing for it. How did we get here?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, crabs.
Oh,
Shaving
yeah.
should just get rid of crabs, I feel like.
Shaving should just get rid of crabs.
Let's test it. You first. I'll be the control. Wait,
Any
is
of our lucky viewers have crabs,
or can get them.
send me an email at Kickback. Don't do that.
Oh.
.com.
Send me some crabs in the mail.
Yeah.
It's the
My address is
male delphine. It's not gamer girl bathwater. It's gamer man pubic crabs.
Gamer girl bathwater evolved. Did you hear what Amaranth did?
I try not to.
She supposedly farted
Fingernails. Oh.
in a whole bunch of mason jars
Mm-hmm.
and then would seal them back up and send it out. And some of them supposedly had it's gross, flakes in them. Like the fart had a little bit of sharp. People, she sold out. They bought them.
What's the
Genocide.
number? What?
Oh, sorry. The way to get rid of all the people.
Oh, I wasn't that optimistic. I was going to ask for what the suicide hotline number is. 'Cause
I'm feeling suicidal. I need to. I need to get out of here. Yeah.
You can do that yourself.
If you want your own shit mason jars, just fart into a jar yourself. You don't need to buy somebody else's.
Why are there flakes?
It'd be one thing if she just did it and then sent out the jars, like, yeah, I totally farted in this, But the fact that she had to add flakes to it, or that there were flakes in there, makes me feel like it was all faked even more.
Of course it's fake.
Right? Like it just like adds one extra step that's too far.
How do you even go about the production process for that?
She went to Taco Bell.
You're like, shit, they ordered how many? I need to warm. Can we move on? I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I want to go somewhere else.
Pass. Oh, what was it? I got in trouble for something.
You in trouble? By who?
Remember?
By whom?
I got in trouble.
Oh, yeah. So last night, I got a call randomly, and I'm sitting in the middle of this like pizza joint, and I'm hanging out with some people, and this call, I pick it up, and I hear, a couch cannot, but Eddie can. Now, Banks cannot do it, but Connor can, and they went down this list of things.
What?
Right?
I'm so confused.
Yes, me too. This is what I was like on the phone. I'm like, what? And like a wall can, but a ceiling can't. A floor can. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're just listing out these things, but it's really rapid fire, right? It's Sammy can go through, Nora can't. Chloe can't go through, but your wall can. Connor go through, but you can't. Eddie can go through, but I can't. Like, it was just a whole bunch of things, right? What they were referencing was the green glass door game.
Oh yeah.
Right. And they were trying to figure out what it was that was the rule to let you go through.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was going on, and it just started getting bombarded at me. And I was confused, and I ended the call and later on called back and tried to figure out what they were going on about. And after we went with that one, they introduced a new game that I've never heard before, which is
Well, real quick before snaps. For anyone that doesn't know what the green glass door game is, give me a couple of examples of things that. So like, how does it normally go? You give like 2 or 3 examples of what can go through, what can't go through, and then I start guessing, right?
Sure.
So there's a door that, according to a rule,
Yeah.
only certain things can pass through it. So like
A book can go through.
a book can go through, okay.
Um,
Can a dog go through?
a dog cannot go through.
Okay. What about a bookcase?
A bookcase could go through.
And so basically you guess a bunch of stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm
Until
trying
you
to think of
figure
more.
out-
It's really hard.
Figuring out what the rule is.
Because I know what the rule is.
Right. If we were to change what the rule actually is and do the one I did last night, I chose things that are red, right, or have red on them. Red things is what I said can go through. So people were trying to guess, right, and they guessed our friend Boyd, who is a ginger.
Okay.
So Boyd can go through, and they guessed somebody else that was there, and they don't have any red on them, and they don't have any red hair, so they couldn't go through. And they had to keep going through different guesses until they figured it out, right? Boyd had a red hat on, and the red hat could go through, but the table we were on couldn't go through. And they had to figure out what it was through questions until Boyd was like, is it things that are red? And they get the rule for what can pass through.
Yeah.
Now, the green glass door has a very general rule, which is what the main
Hinted
game is
at in
about.
the name.
Yeah, which we won't tell you at all.
Losers.
But a bookkeeper can go through. And bookkeeper is also a fun word, because I think it's the only English word that has 3 sets of double letters in a row.
Bookkeeper?
Yeah.
You think it's the only word?
I think
Is
so.
bookkeeper even one word?
Yeah. Fun one.
How confident are you that it's the only word? Now I want to challenge it.
I'm pretty confident.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
Next week.
Next week, I'll come back. I'll
come
Google
back.
it.
I'm going to read the dictionary for the first time in my life.
Okay. I feel like you could just Google search it. It'd be so much easier.
You ever heard of this word? It's real.
The
They put Riz in the dictionary.
urban one or the real one?
Probably the real one by now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's society.
Yeah, it's sad. Society's sad. But then we had a snap game. Yes. And
I forget the rules on this
you
a
forget
little bit.
okay. The snap game is you're going to say a phrase at the beginning, right? Like, watermelons are good, right? Would be the first phrase. Watermelons are good, and then you snap a certain number of times. So,
Okay.
water makes me happy.
Wow.
Wow is the answer. Yep.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So the way it works is the first letter of your first phrase is the first letter of the word. The number of snaps correlates to the vowels.
A-E-I-O-U.
Yep.
Yep.
In that order. And then your next phrase, the first letter of that one is the next letter. You can keep going and make really long sentences, and each time you want to do a new word, you don't need to do snaps in between, but you do need to add a pause.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way people they know that it's a new letter, a new start.
Phrase. Same if you do 2 vowels in a row, right?
Yeah, you do
go.
a pause. Exactly. And I didn't know what this was, so I had to figure out. I've never played games, so they were just giving me examples, and I had to figure out what the hell they were talking about.
Now I'm thinking about trying to getting someone to guess bookkeeper in the Snaps world.
Oh my god.
You're
That'd be
like
so
A-E-I-O, A-E-I-O, kick a dog.
Who are you, Naomi? Like
No, let's shoot
kill
a
a
dog.
dog. Oh.
Kill a dog. There we go. A-E, A-E.
But I was talking to Buddy about this today, and he said he got in trouble for this game.
I did. Yeah, so in middle school, my history teacher did this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super fun, whatever. She was the cool teacher. And then her brother came to visit, and it was her birthday. So I don't know how it was allowed, but he was just in, like an adult was in class with us the whole time.
Probably not.
Hanging out, like doing like a Beatles quiz because the history teacher loved the Beatles. And like there's a bunch of random stuff that was like
Like he
flavored
was like
towards
a
the
TA
history.
type of thing?
No,
Or-
he was her brother just from...
No, but like, was he acting as a TA, or did he like roll call went through and he was sitting down at a desk and he said here?
He didn't say here, but he was just here.
He was just there, like
He was
sitting
just
at a
there, yeah.
Was he at a desk?
She was like, "Hey, my brother's in town."
Okay. Hey guys, this is that gives the energy of there's a at my job we have several different vendors that we use for machines, for equipment, and one of the people that does service on these machines comes in, very interesting individual, and one time he went to my sister club, and this sister club, whenever he comes in, the manager, she runs away. Because it's very obvious that he like is into her, but doesn't understand that she's not into him, or he also doesn't understand like boundaries or like social cues at all. And he comes in one time, so she tries to leave, but he stops her really quickly and goes, "Hey, hold on, before you leave, I brought my mom in to meet you." And it's like, what? It gives that same energy to me. Like, why is he bringing his mom to this job? Why is she bringing her brother to school?
Yeah. Whatever. It was before kids got molested, I guess, or something.
Okay.
I'm old. Just kidding. Anyway, so he was there, and they decided that we would do something history related, nerds. And so that we separated the class in half, and one half had her as the snapper, and the other half had him as the snapper. And the goal was they would each try to get their side to guess the phrases
First.
in the history, like whatever chapter we were on.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it. I promise, teacher name I forgot.
What grade were you in?
This was
Like
seventh
grade
or eighth,
Eighth
one
grade?
of the two.
Yeah. I did it. My 8th grade history teacher. God damn it!
Yeah, I did it. You doubted me. This is why.
I'm smart.
So they would like huddle up, pick a word from the list of terms, and then they'd go and you try to guess or whatever. And it was like, you know, oh, we're going to play snaps. However you start. I feel like there was a phrase to start that you were going to play it. And then they were like,
I don't know.
Can you hear me? And I just
good.
burst out. I'm like, cotton diplomacy. I still remember the term.
Yeah.
Because everyone
This
was
was traumatic
silent.
for
And they
you.
were like, did you hear us? I was like, no. They're like, how did you know it was that word? I was like, I don't know. It was bolded in the chapter. and it was just like 5 straight minutes of everyone in class thinking I cheated.
Yeah. How are you
And
cheating the game?
They
They
and
choose
I'm
the
like
word.
a few rows back. So I was like, if I could hear it, how did no one else hear it?
Yeah.
Like, okay, did you see it? It was like, same thing. And it was just that. And they're like, I'll tell you what, if you can tell me what that word means, I'll give you extra points or something. I don't know. And I was like, I have no idea. I literally just read the bolded words and it's like ingrained in my brain. And I don't know. So I got
How would you?
not in trouble, but
Yeah, but like, how would you even cheat at the game if like the person doing the snaps, they choose the word and nobody else knows, and they start doing the first part, the "Can you hear me?" and they go to O, and you're like, I think this is con diplomacy. Why would they? You just got a good guess. You just binked it.
I
Like,
don't
you got
know.
there.
But they were sure I cheated somehow.
That's weird. That's weird, man.
Yeah, I think they were just jealous that I won.
They were.
I was so good at history. Quiz me on any history.
Any history whatsoever.
I know it all.
Okay.
U.S. history.
Okay. What U.S.
1842.
What U.S. president was known for having a big dick?
Oh, LBJ, aka the Jumbo Johnson.
Yes, sir. He did. He knows. He's good.
He did. Not only did he have a big dick, he used it in negotiations,
Okay.
and that's what we need. Vote Harris 2024.
What is it? Because she has a big dick? She got that big D energy. She like Drake?
They were separate statements.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
What is the origin story of capoeira?
Dancing
Martial
martial
art.
art from Brazil? I don't know. Is that history?
Mm-hmm. Well, it has history to it, and it's related to the U.S.
Is it? I have no idea.
It was a way for slaves to learn how to fight that looked like they weren't training.
Is that real?
I'm like 70 on it.
That good enough for me?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, they wanted to learn how to fight, so they would disguise it as dancing, and then they learned it and they used it.
No, wait. No, that can't be real. How were like the freaking slave owners like, you're just dancing. That's fine. Carry
no, they
on.
probably still got in trouble for it each time, but they would get in less trouble than if it was that they were like, ha! Huh, if they're very obviously Mulan training, trying to go through versus.
I don't know that it would be that much different.
I don't know. I feel like.
I'm calling cap on that one.
Yeah, it's what's called.
Yeah.
Capoeira. I feel like one person gets in trouble and killed when they're dancing and having fun versus everybody that's training to fight gets killed. Or whipped or what like.
You don't think if they caught like a group of them dancing, quote unquote, they wouldn't like extremely punish all of them and like make sure they can't meet up after hours or whatever? I don't know. It doesn't.
Don't fact check me. I'm right.
No, you've already been fact Chuck. Okay.
Okay. So, speaking of getting in trouble, have you heard of the drama going on in the YouTube world the last little while?
Not really. No.
No, there's been so much. So the first one is there's a guy named Moist Critical. His name's Charlie in real life, and he does daily
and he
videos.
chose Moist.
Yeah, Moisty Boy. Moist Critical. He's also Penguin Zero. He has several names. And there's another guy who is like Andrew Tate Pilled. He's I can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Give me a hint.
Bad person.
Give me another.
Starts with an S.
These are YouTubers. Give me a hint.
He starts with an. He's a streamer. His name starts with an S. He's very much so like Andrew Tate.
It's not Sneeko.
Sneeko. It is Sneeko. You got there.
They had drama forever ago.
Yeah, they had drama forever ago, and then he had Sneeko had DM'd Moist about a few questions on like trans and age of consent and stuff like that. And Moist was like, you know what? Yeah, it was a weird one.
What are these questions? Like, what is the trans and what is the age of consent?
Just like just personal views.
Okay.
Right. And it came across to Moist that he wanted to have a conversation with it. And Moist was like, we've had our differences in the past, and we kind of went through it. And if he's trying to learn and do stuff, sure, I'll hop into a Discord call with him and I'll talk about it.
Sure.
Well, it turns out Sneeko didn't have that at all. His goal was to do a gotcha. I'm going to bring you into a debate, not an intellectual conversation. So Sneeko is live streaming this. And Moist has no idea that this is being live streamed, and he's entering it in that they're just having a conversation. They're not trying to change each other's minds. They're just asking questions and then freely saying what they think about it and going forward. So there's not a competitive gotcha moment to it.
Yeah.
So that already puts the mind frame so different, where Moist is just like, oh, he has a weird question. Well, I guess in this case, like if I had to do something, it'd be here. And then Sneeko's like, I'm going to ask him this question because I'm going to get him with it. So it's just very like predatory already. And Sneeko asks him a question about the rights of somebody to be trans. It's a minor.
Okay.
And he's like, do you think, like, for example, like maybe like a 13-year-old or something that could go trans? They could go chop off their dick. And Moise is like, I don't know if that would happen, but I guess like if they wanted to, as long as the parents consent to it, the doctor consents to it, and the child consents to it, then sure, I guess that's between them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, that's crazy. And he just like goes off on it. And because of the trans everything, Moise gets in some trouble for it because he was like
Trouble from what? Audiences?
For saying that from audiences, for saying a 13-year-old can do this, right? Because the way the question was phrased from Sneeko makes it seem like they were already in a debate, and this is Moist's stance.
Yeah.
But Moist was taking it as like, okay, that's a weird one, but I mean, like, I guess if it was there, then sure. But it wasn't a I'm gonna die in this hill stance. It's whatever. So it's nuanced in that one. I just
real quick, like the whole, because this I hope it comes full circle. But we've been talking a little bit about the Olympic lady that everyone on the right is like trying to full throat say that she's a man and it's not fair because she's winning women's boxing or whatever with no evidence.
Yeah.
And then it's like the closest evidence that might be the truth is that she's a woman, but she was born with XY chromosomes, but it's like fully functional female reproductive system. Everything about her has been a woman the whole time. And so now they're having to dance with like, but no, she's still a man. It's like, so men can get pregnant. And then now they have to play the game of like, there are certain weird exceptions about things and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And this just like a 13-year-old getting transition surgery is like, okay, in like 5 to 10 years, I just want to see the same thing where they have to dance the other way with it. And they're like, well, you don't understand. It's like, yeah, you're just slow, bro.
Yeah, you guys are just being weird. Also, with that boxer one, it's just like, I've seen him start to transition to, well, because of the XY chromosomes, they have higher testosterone levels. Yeah. So they have an inherent advantage. And it's like, okay, what about like Usain Bolt or like Michael Phelps, who literally has a genetic advantage where he doesn't build up as much lactic acid, so he can go harder for longer, and it literally doesn't hurt him as much as other athletes.
Yeah.
So like the reason he was able to do so good was he just is built different and better for it.
Should
we invalidate that?
Like me. Like I'm built
different.
No,
yeah,
I'm just
different.
It's just not fair. Like, why can't I be in the NBA? The only thing holding me back is height.
Yeah.
Like, I demonstrated it today.
He did really good. It was messed up. He beat me so hard in basketball.
It's almost like sports are made with competitive advantages built in. And that's okay. And we just decided to separate based on sex.
Yeah. And it's just, you can't have both. You can't be like, no, they have an advantage, so it's unfair, and then be like, oh yeah, Michael is just great at it because he's built for it.
It's literally, he has a fair advantage.
It's crazy.
What about a man who has way more testosterone?
Yeah, testosterone varies between men too by large amounts.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a huge change that's bigger than the gap that she has versus the boxer she's fighting in men as well. And like, people wouldn't freak out.
No.
It's just stupid. Yeah.
Anyway. So drama with Moisty Boy.
It's going through, right? And then about an hour into their conversation is when he realizes that he's recording it, right? And he's doing this thing.
I feel like you should be able to tell sooner than that.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to be too like, we had this beef. It was stupid. I don't want to be drama, because after this, he announced that he's done with drama content. He's like, there's too much drama in my life, and I don't want to deal with that. I'm just not going to make. Yeah, he's getting a lot of trouble for it. People are like calling him out and saying that he's a grifter and he's like. It's a whole lot. But he realizes, so he starts now doing the debate thing, right? So he's trying to get Sneeko on there, and he's asking questions because Sneeko believes.
Oh, I was going to say, that real quick, I know very little about this guy.
Yeah.
Other than, one, I feel like he's not smart enough to not be super performative, so I don't know how you didn't know he wasn't like performing to an audience.
Yeah.
And two, it's so easy. Just ask him what he thinks the age of consent should be.
So that's the conversation he's talking about. Yes.
Why would he choose to have that conversation?
Yeah. So he's asking, that's exactly what Moist does. He starts talking about the age of consent. Sneeko, his stance is as long as they're mature. And he doesn't mean like mentally mature. He means their body is physically mature, which means they've had their period. Mm-hmm. That's all he thinks is needed in order for you to get married and to start having kids.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because he's a fake Muslim.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, right. He does go over the Muslim thing, and as they're talking, he keeps lowering the age. Right? He's like, yeah, if they're like 16 and they're mature, then like their parents should be able to marry them off. That's how it was 100 years ago. That's not how it was 100 years ago, just factually.
Yeah, actually, in today's age, 16 is the age of consent in places, so it's still kind of a thing.
And then Moist keeps going lower and lower and lower, and he's like, okay, what about a 12-year-old? And Sneeko's like, as long as they're mature, then sure. Like, why wouldn't they be able to?
Yeah.
And it's like, you think that a 12-year-old should be able to get married and start having babies to somebody who's 40 years old, and that's okay. Like, what?
Is his argument that like people mature at different rates and there are some people that might be
more mature?
Yeah.
But he doesn't care about mental maturity. He just cares about physical maturity. He thinks as soon as they're able to have kids, they should be having kids.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And he's not getting hate, or at least not to the same level that Moisty Boy is, for being like, as long as everybody's consenting to this, I guess. And it's like,
it's dumb.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very,
so
very dumb.
That's one part of the drama. And then Mr. Beast is under a ton of drama.
Okay.
A ton. Why? He has someone that
Wait, did he... Oh, what did he do? Okay, what did he do? Did he do, like, a bunch of organ transplants for free in, like, Zimbabwe?
No, this is actual, like...
He
drama.
actually did something bad this time?
Potentially. It's all... Okay. It's annoying because it's all allegedly.
Okay, because just all the drama I've ever heard about Mr. Beast is he cured a certain kind of blindness that we know how to cure for free for a bunch of kids.
Yeah, for only 1,000 people.
What an ass.
Yeah. What do you mean he built 100 homes for people in this area that lost all their homes?
Basically the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
That's why his name is Mr. Beast.
So it all started with Ava Chris Tyson. Chris Tyson was their original
Mike Tyson's
name.
niece.
Yeah, and then Ava is their transition name. People already hate Mr. Beast for Ava because it was someone that was close to Mr. Beast. He's popular among kids, and then his friend transitioned, so obviously he's a bad person.
Yeah, obviously.
Now, Ava did some stuff that is messed up, right?
What?
Talking to people that are 14-year-old.
Yep, that's terrible.
When they're, I think, 19 at the time, in Discords about sex and about furry porn and about like Rule 34 type stuff. And then Ava has tweeted or retweeted an artist.
In Discord. What does that mean?
Like they're like chatting in Discord, typing. So they're in a Discord group.
A group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is when Ava works with Mr. Beast,
Uh-huh.
right? And he's talking to a 14-year-old, or she's talking, sorry, to a 14-year-old. And
As a 19-year-old.
As a 19-year-old.
Which is basically 14.
Which is basically 14?
I'm kind of, yeah.
I don't know. There's a whole lot to it of like 19 versus the, or actually, sorry, 13, because there was a 6-year age gap.
Okay.
13 versus 19.
I'm not
and
saying
then,
like 19-year-olds should be talking to 13-year-olds. I'm just saying like it's not like you said, like a 40-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's not a huge gap.
It's quite
like
a bit
that.
closer than that.
Yes.
Still very problematic, but
And well, the real part about it is like they're saying things that come across as like, I want to meet up with you and have sex with you. Right.
The Dr. Disrespect route.
Right.
I like
That's
it.
how it comes across. Now, the person that this was happening to came out and said, no, that was never the relationship, right? We were just in a talk, and it was a whole bunch of people talking about things, and we're all internet pilled, so internet pilled conversations happen.
Okay.
Which then the internet went through and said, well, if you're being groomed, you wouldn't know you're being groomed. Right? That's the whole point of it, is this person is saying these things to you to make you act and think the way they want you to in the sexual connotation, and you don't know it, and that's why it works.
Okay.
Right? And so there's an argument going there where they're grooming you, but you don't know it, and I'm not being groomed. We were just talking, and nothing ever happened, right? And then it turns out that Ava like retweeted, I don't know if it was the picture or just the artist, of somebody who drew porn of a celebrity's like 11-year-old daughter.
Interesting hobby.
Yeah.
What?
And it's like, and they're like, yeah, this is really awesome. Look at this artist's work. And it's like, no, that's like, you just shouldn't. They're obviously drawing porn of a minor, which is messed up. And then it's of like a celebrity's minor that they're trying to promote. It's just like somebody already has a lot of reach and everybody knows who this individual is. So if you're looking them up, you're going to now see this. It just adds another layer of like, you shouldn't do it. And then you shouldn't do it.
That just doesn't sound real.
It is. Yeah. Like it's.
I don't know.
You don't know what?
It just doesn't sound real. How do you? I mean, I know that life is crazy, but whenever I hear something that sounds not like it's real, I want to know more.
Yeah, I mean,
how does any reasonably social person online repost or whatever child porn?
Right. It was drawn, so it's fair. Is
Is
probably
that
their
actually the
assumption.
argument?
I would assume. I don't know. Like,
Like,
it's not
I don't know.
actually.
I want to know more because, like, maybe they're really that dumb and
Yeah.
crazy and just open with it,
Mm.
but that just feels so unlikely.
Right. Yeah. I don't know their reasoning behind it, but it's wrong. You shouldn't do that. So
Or, who cares?
yeah.
You know what? Hey, I heard a thing. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
I solved it. That's what I
Um,
should do.
Yeah. It's like the tweets are still there and the retweets and like the receipts of it are all still like there and can be found. And it's like, yeah, they just retweeted it and like we're praising this individual and it's crazy. And they also have one where they're talking about an anime and Ava wanted somebody to draw a lewd version of this anime character. And there's two versions of the anime character, one who's like 13 and one who's I think 16.
Okay.
Both of them underage and wanted porn of the individual. It's just kind of weird, right? And so that blew up and started causing a whole bunch of drama. And then an ex-employee of Mr. Beast came out and said, yeah, these kind of sexual conversations that Ava was having has been happening at Mr. Beast for a while, and Mr. Beast knew about it and allowed it. Not only that, he has hired somebody who is a sex offender who got caught and tried for having sex with somebody between the ages of 1 to 11.
Ooh, was it Drake?
No. And Mr. Beast knew about this and still hired them. So they're getting in trouble for that. And then
Okay.
he also says there's a whole bunch of other things about he fakes his videos, he's doing illegal lotteries, and they're doing a lot. That bit to me is kind of annoying to go through because he made it like an hour and 44-minute long video about it. And he's like, I'm not doing this for profit. I'm not doing this to like use Mr. Beast's name to get money. So he demonetized the video at the very beginning. So there's no way he can make money off the video. He's like, I just want the world to know. And he's doing like Pepe Sylvia like weirdness with it in the background and trying to connect all the dots. And everything is alleged. And there's another YouTube video or YouTuber named Ludwig who talked to this guy that made the video. His name's Dogpack. So he talked to Dogpack and he tried asking him questions about how he knows that these things are faked.
Yeah.
And Dogpack goes, you're a psyop. You're trying to ask me questions that are going to break my NDA. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you were in an NDA. What can't I ask you about? And Dogpack goes, you just ask me anything. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm an open book. And he goes, well, you are in an NDA, and you said I can't ask you specific questions. So what can I ask you about? And he's like, no, just ask me anything. And he's like, okay, well, about this. He's like, no, that's part of my NDA. Like, why are you trying to get me in trouble? And that to me was really like, it makes his everything sound fake. Right?
It all sounds pretty... Like, the only thing that doesn't sound like... Not reasonable. What's the word? Like, just hearing it as an accusation, I would be like, okay, there's like a 50-50 chance that happened. Right. Everything else is like, I'm 95% sure that probably didn't happen, and there's a lot missing, or it's just made up. But the only thing that sounds kind of real is like, maybe Mr. Beast did hire someone who had previously like sexually whatevered.
So that one's
kid.
Done, and there's a case you can find on that person, and it's just like that one's 100% factually true.
I was gonna say it just seems way too easy to verify, and also, I don't know, maybe he thinks he changed or she changed or whatever. Like,
and then the Ava
or maybe
one,
he knew but like kind of knew and didn't really like look into it. Maybe the crime was actually a little less serious than it sound. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I don't
that
know
one
the
sounds
full
like
specifics of it.
Yeah, probably maybe.
And then the Ava one made a public apology and admitted to talking to the kid, but it was never anything meant to be sexual, but agrees that they probably shouldn't have been having those conversations with somebody who was such a young person.
Well, even from what you just said already, it sounds like they were in a big group of people.
They were, the 13-year-old was like, had worked on some sort of content with Mr. Beast before and had been technically paid for the content they had done.
Yeah.
And that's how they got into the conversation. And then they had like a Minecraft server. So that one is like, here or there. And then they admitted to, I think they apologized for retweeting about the 11-year-old that made the thing. So like they admitted to and apologized for it.
What was the reasoning behind that? Because that sounds weird.
They just like that kind of pornography.
I don't think
so.
That doesn't sound like a real excuse someone would give, though.
I don't know. We can look it up afterwards, or we can try looking up the receipts here and go through it. And then So those are the like.
I'm curious.
Do it. So those are the starting ones, and then Mr. Beast does a lot of videos that are, survive in this area for X amount of time, and you get money, right? And he's done one of them where like he himself stayed in solitary confinement for I think it was 30 days in a white room, and like he had no access to anything to keep him busy. It was just this white room, lights on all the time type of place, which was really hard for him to do. He started going crazy at the end of it. Well, that wasn't the first time he's done one of those videos. He had an employee a long time ago named, I think it was Jake, who he at the very beginning of like Mr. Beast kind of blow up was like, hey, we're gonna do this thing for you for 30 days. You need to survive in this area, and it's gonna be really easy at first. Each day will come in, and we're gonna take something away, right? So the first like couple weeks are gonna be a breeze because you'll have stuff to keep you busy. Yeah. And then we're gonna increase your pay and slowly take things away. And each day you survive, you get $10,000. Until the end of it, you get $30,000 and whatever other things get added onto it. And this is going through, and the guy's starting to have a really hard time with it because he's in solitary confinement, and you know he's getting the mental part of that challenge that is applied to it. And it starts getting to the point where he's getting like sleep-induced, like sleep deprivation-induced issues because they won't turn the lights off for him.
Right, bright lights.
Right, and the reason they won't turn the lights off for him is it's not part of the challenge, but it would ruin if they wanted to ever do a time lapse of the night. Right, and
wait, why?
They're like, if we want to do a time lapse, we don't have night vision cameras. So, like, let's say you wake up randomly and the lights haven't turned on yet and you start walking around, we lose that footage.
Why wouldn't they have night vision cameras?
I don't know. So, they kept the lights on. Are they
cheaping out on...
Yeah.
What?
So, they kept the lights on the whole time.
I would have just said it's part of the challenge. That's dumb.
Right, and they're getting in trouble for it because he asked and begged and, like, was crying for the lights to be turned off, and he was imprisoned in this area because he asked to leave, and they called him, let's just do a couple more days, and they were, like, keeping him there, which... It's not technically because it's not a war crime, but that is a Geneva thing, right? That people are trying to attack Mr. Beast for. But like he's breaking the Geneva Convention by doing this.
I think that depends on how insistent both parties were on their, you know.
Right. Now there's two camps with this situation with Jake. One of them is he could have quit at any time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if he could actually just leave, I don't think it's a war crime if you can just say no.
Right. Now, the other part is he tried, and they told him no.
Was it... But was it like, oh, this sucks, get me out of here? And they're like, are you sure we could just do, like, you're almost there, just do another day or two? And he's like, oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not sure exactly how, like, the breakdown went, because the video never got released because of, like, threat of being sued, because I guess they did some things that were a little wrong.
Because of the waterboarding after.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, everything was fine. The other stuff wasn't even a war crime.
Yeah. So the video never got released, so it's all, like, this happened to me, and you can take my word for it. And the guy in the video is obviously, like, distraught. He can't talk about certain things without, like, stopping, visibly, like, crying hard about it before coming back. Yeah. So he obviously has trauma from it. And he's like, it would have been fine if they just would have turned the lights off. I just needed to turn the lights off. I couldn't sleep. It was messing me up. I have insomnia now from it. I have trauma from it. And then as he's going through and he's having a harder time with it, Mr. Beast comes in one day. He said, here's your next challenge. This is what you're going to do. You're going to run a marathon. We brought this treadmill in here, and you're doing a marathon. And he's like, why? I don't run. I don't want to do a marathon. And this is the part where one of the camps comes in and saying, well, he couldn't just quit because he grew up in a very poor family. He didn't have a lot of money himself. So there were two things of this person is a higher status individual than me. And if I don't do this, the video is going to be ruined. Right. If I just say no to the challenge, like, what are they going to do? Right. So he felt like he was pressured to do the challenge. And the other reason why he wouldn't quit is like, if you don't ever have money, it's such an important thing to you. It's hard for him to be like, if I leave, I don't get the money. I just went through all this for like no reason. Right.
That argument would not work in like any other way though.
No. It's all just like moral
you don't
stuff
understand.
versus...
He had to become an assassin because he was so poor his whole life. Like, can you really say no to $1 million?
Right. I think if
he doesn't kill him, he doesn't get anything.
I think the situation's a little bit different, but I agree that like it wouldn't hold any
extreme. But yeah,
it's just the moral version of it, and like, you know how hard it is if you're poor and you are presented with all this money that you can get, and you've already gone through so much, like your sunk cost fallacy and whatnot. So the two different camps of being like, no, he was torturing this individual, and the other camp of like, no, the dude could have left at any time. And after the marathon is when he broke down fully and like just couldn't go on, because they came in like, how are you doing? He's like, I can't do this anymore. And he said, for the video, how much longer do I need to stay in? And they told him realistically 7 more days, and he just like lost at that point. So they had to bring like a doctor in to come talk to him. They brought a bunch of people in, brought his friends and family that were on set, and then Mr. Beast came in and ended up awarding him the money for the days that he went already. So he still got like $200 and something thousand for it. But he's like, it was just so that I wouldn't sue him for whatever reason or whatnot. So that's another part that Mr. Beast is getting in trouble for. And apparently there's one other part that's supposed to come out where Dogpack is going to show even more like...
I wouldn't trust anything this guy has to say.
Yeah, sexual abuse things that are supposed to go through. And I agree. It's very like...
Why didn't he show it already?
Yeah, why
are
you starting...
the sexual abuse?
Yeah, why are you starting with the really like low stuff of like Ava Chris Tyson did these things that are just immoral but not technically illegal. And then then you go over Mr. Beast like hired this person who we're going to go into further detail about his, sexual assault history in the next video. But let's talk about this Jake guy first. And then you're going to make a third video going through it. It just feels very like, it's weird because none of them are monetized, which is what he keeps stressing. Like, I'm not doing this for monetization. But if you were doing it to out somebody, you should just out them all at once. Why are you making 3 parts and starting with the lowest and ramping up?
Well, also, direct monetization on a video is not the only way you can make money by making a video.
Right, and he's gotten like 480,000 subscribers from it.
Yeah, it's almost like...
So now if he makes videos...
Attention is also worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean...
So now if he makes videos that are monetized and people have already... like it's
even if they don't like his actual content, if he can go like a couple weeks with getting half of those people watching some of those videos, like...
Yeah.
That's a lot of money he never would have made otherwise. Yeah, no, that's a dumb argument. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule of thumb either way, is if someone's making a claim that sounds like it's like a hard claim to believe or something, or just a claim in general, and you want to test it a little bit, if they're not putting forth their strongest info, their strongest whatever, there has to be a really good reason for that. And there's not.
Right.
It's because they don't have anything, and then they can go back and dig. They can get more people that are on their team that want to help them, that send them stuff. Then they can make more claims.
Right. Which in his second one, he's like, I had a lot of people that reach out to me, and I'm not going to say their names because they wanted to stay anonymous. And it's like, I just feel like with this one, if you're making these accusations of like serious criminal activities happening, then maybe you should just be forthright with it all. So it feels very weird.
I don't think it's weird. I think he's just greedy.
Yeah, like it feels weird to me. I guess weird maybe isn't the right word. It feels wrong to say, no, this totally happened. When I'm questioned about it directly, though, I'm going to say you're a Mr. Beast grifter, but ask me anything. And when you ask me a question, I'm going to say, no, I can't answer that. Obviously, why are you asking me these? Like, why are you trying to get me in trouble? And it's like, guide me then. Like, what can I ask you about? Another part that's very important to know is this guy only worked with Mr. Beast for like a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. Very, very short amount of time. So it feels very odd. And if it is true, then yeah, there's some things that Mr. Beast needs to address. But the part that I'm like, why hasn't this happened yet is Mr. Beast hasn't made any comments on it whatsoever. Which I don't know if it's the right or the wrong thing to do. I think if your company's getting hounded for like having some sort of sex scandal going through, especially ones that pertain to minors, maybe you should make a statement about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he hasn't is making a lot of people really suspicious. Like, they're saying his choice to not make something is the same as admitting to something happened because he can't debate it.
I actually disagree. I think you should refute allegations with the same level of clarity and sincerity that the accusations were made.
Given. Yeah.
If you give random accusations with no evidence, I don't think it's worth addressing at all.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Or really, really weak evidence. If someone asks you directly, just be like, no, that's weird. I don't know why they would say that.
Right.
If they come out posting like, this guy, here's all the proof, then you probably need to come out with a statement being like, actually, we hired this guy at this day. I didn't find out about this thing till this way.
Yeah.
Like, then you refute it. But I don't know.
Yeah, because a lot of things in Dogpack's videos are he'll claim Mr. Beast hired or this was happening with Ava, and Mr. Beast knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was okay with it. And he's like, well, how do you know he's okay with it? Well, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, Mr. Beast co-signed all of these Discord messages that she sent. And I think he even has to approve her retweets on Twitter. It's like, wait, what do you mean he knew about it? How do you even prove that?
Yeah, and Mr. Beast has already cut ties with Ava. They did that. Now, one part that's weird is when the Ava stuff happened, Mr. Beast made a statement on it, cut ties, removed Ava from the company, right? And then the other stuff, which is more serious accusations, he said nothing on. So people are like, why did you comment on one of them but not the other one?
Probably because she retweeted a picture of an 11-year-old drawn naked or whatever.
Yeah. And then do you think there's a world where if a large portion of the internet is saying, hey, you should make a response on this, should you? Even if the allegations are bad, should you make it a response being like, I'll address this in the way I can. So far, they're coming to me with things that they don't have proof for, so I can't disprove it because there's no proof given, right? I can just say that didn't happen, but I don't have should he still make a statement since so many people are asking him to? Is it a weird...
I would think of it in like a couple of ways. One is he's a pretty big... I've heard he's like a big YouTuber or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would... Biggest. If the popularity of the allegations gets to like a sizable percentage of like his normal audience, it might be worth addressing them. But I think it has to get like pretty big.
Yeah, because
big enough that like a big chunk of your fan base starts to like question or whatever.
Right.
Other than that, I don't think so. Unless your goal in refuting them is to attack them.
Yeah. Like
I'm actually going to tear you down because you're making these false allegations. Then I would get it. Like actually, you're just a lying grifter, and here's my proof.
Yeah. Now, there's a world where he just doesn't need to respond because it doesn't affect his business at all because he posted a video during this, and it was a huge success. It did
Which
really,
I think
really good.
Goes to my first point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's big enough to even touch him.
So there's the drama going on there, and who knows where it'll go. Maybe Dogpack will release a part 3, and he wants to go to like a part 5, he said, which is weird.
Weird.
Yeah. That like is going to release some really like good stuff that's going to like show it, but like one of his claims in the first one is there's a video and it has a shot of a part of the video they're on. They're supposed to be surviving for X amount of days on a boat. And it has a time-lapse video of their bed area. And he said, if you pause it right here, you can see that nobody's in there right now.
Okay.
Right? That's because they're all off of the boat on another yacht sleeping soundly. And it's like, or they're just at a different part of the boat. Right?
Well, yeah, but he'll address that in part 7.
Yeah. And then
oh my god, the parts, that's like a dead give. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't like dog packs at all. I think Jake going through really bad work conditions is something that's like, yeah, that could have been better. And maybe at the time you should have done something with the Better Business Bureau or whatever.
Yeah.
But it sounds like to me like they weren't trying to necessarily be a jerk to you. They just were not the well organized or better organized machine that they are now. They just didn't think it through. They were amateurs doing something, and this happened, and it was crappy. They did not handle it a good way, but that was so many years ago, and then they've done better. He cut ties with Ava. I don't know much about the person they hired that is a registered offender. Some people say it's alleged. Some people are saying like, no, it's like, here's the thing. Like, you can look it up right here.
I was going to say, you should be able to look that up.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, no, it's something you can look up. And they're like, okay, then why is it between the ages of 1 to 11? Like,
well, they might hide that.
Hide the identity. So there's like a weird bit of drama there where people are riding on it. And it's causing some YouTubers to cut ties with Mr. Beast because he hasn't made a statement or anything or done any sort of attempt to do a rebuttal.
Yeah. So
some people are like dropping sponsorships they have with him. Oh, there was another piece of drama going through. Mr. Beast has a games coming through with Amazon. He's making an Amazon Prime TV series that's like Squid Games kind of. Okay. And before they did that, they had to get the number of contestants they had, which was like 2,000 something, down to 1,000 for the Amazon show. So they got them all together and they did a trial run of it, where they were there for X amount of days, and the goal was to get half of them out, so they're left with the 1,000.
Yeah.
And during this one, people have come out to claim that a lot of weird and creepy things happen, and then there's just misuse of them in general. So when you first got there, you had to get all of your clothing that you brought with you for the event and get it checked in and registered. So they took your clothing away, and then they would give it to you later on when you got to the actual like phase of it.
Okay.
In this included underwear. Now, several people that got kicked out came out, and several, it's like 12 of the 1,000, said they never got their underwear.
Okay.
And then some people were saying like, yeah, we did this, and like it happened to me where I didn't have the chance to change my underwear for like 48 hours until they brought me my stuff, but then I got all my stuff and it was good after that. So there's a weird thing going on there where to me that one feels like Mr. Beast is a big person and there's drama, and I was technically a part of this, so I can jump on the bandwagon and try to add more to it.
What's
the goal?
the claim? Yeah, what's
The claim that his creepy staff stole women's underwear to use in weird ways is the... It's Mr. Beast is now in these weird sexual allegations of things they're talking about, and let's add to it by doing this. And people are coming out and saying, this happened to me, and other people are saying, like, yeah, that happened, and I know some people didn't get their clothing back all the way, and then from talking to production, like, in the things moving around, they can't give the clothing back until the actual bit's done for whatever reason. I don't know their contract side of it, but as soon as the trial run's done, they should be able to send everything back. So for me, I got in there and I got out, and I haven't gotten my clothing yet, but it was explained to me as to why.
Yeah.
And it's like there was a reason. And then another one is they brought them out there and they didn't have proper water or food for them.
Okay.
And they're like, we were there and we were thirsty and we would ask for water, and they said, we don't have any for you. So they just didn't have proper conditions. And somebody comes out and said, yeah, when I first got there, same time as everybody else, it wasn't up and running quite yet. So for the first 12 hours, there was no food or water that we had access to.
Yeah.
After the first 12 hours, I had water whenever I wanted it. I just had to ask somebody that was on staff.
It's just a slight like logistics issue.
Yeah.
Which happens.
And then the other one is
Why does everything have to be a big, either you're a, like literally, you are a huge pedophile, organized sex trafficking, underwear stealing person, or you're the best person in the world.
Yeah.
It can't be that you're running a multi-thousand contestant thing with all the production behind the scenes and the food was late, or
now,
like there's no way.
With the food, people are complaining that they weren't fed in regular intervals, and when they were fed, it was like what you'd get in prison, is what they're saying. So what they got would be oatmeal, a hard-boiled egg, and like a juice box.
Okay.
And it was like 400 calories total. And other people are saying, yeah, the food came out and it was small portions, and it wasn't like every 4 hours we got it, or every 8 hours. It was like we got fed our 3-4 times a day, but it wasn't a consistent amount of time. And it was less calories, but they're saying like, I didn't think it was like they were trying to be rude to us. I took it more as we're doing a challenge to test ourselves, and part of the challenge might have just been like, we need people to quit. We're going to, give them less calories than whatever. Like, it was a part of the challenge rather than them trying to intentionally harm people by giving them less food.
Or they just didn't, they wanted to keep their food budget not excessive.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
then they were saying that some people had allergies, didn't have access to their food. And someone was like, yeah, I had an allergy, and it took me longer to get my food. I had to be hungry for longer, but I wasn't forced to like eat meat if I'm a vegetarian. I wasn't forced to eat peanuts if I'm like allergic to peanuts. So it just seems like a whole lot of...
Why did you say peanuts 2 different ways?
Did I?
You said, if I'm allergic to peanuts, I don't have to eat peanuts. You can't have it both ways.
I can have it both ways.
It just life is crazy enough right now. I don't know. We don't have to make drama up. There's some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why my voice did that.
But yeah, I feel like maybe when it's all cleared and we have the full story, maybe there's some things that like, wow, Mr. Beast is a bad person. I think what it is more likely is that Mr. Beast himself puts him in the shoes of other people. Like, he's like, I would be able to do this, so you should be able to do this. And he is too like business-minded content brain, not personable enough. Because I think if he was the exact same way he is now, but he is personable with the contestants, there wouldn't be the same drama. But the fact that he runs it as like a robotic business makes them feel like they didn't care. And it's like, yeah, he doesn't really need to.
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
and also he's probably not overseeing every single piece of this. Like,
Right, and
he probably
also-
has, hey, you're on our production team. You handle this stuff. Hey, you make sure the guests are fed. Hey, you make sure this. And then those guys are like, well, I can save the company money. That probably looks good for me. I might get a promotion.
Yeah.
I probably don't want to spend 1.5x the amount of money when 1x the money gets them fed and watered and everything.
Yeah. So who knows how it will end up? Maybe at the end of it, we're like, wow, Mr. Beast is bad. But right
Maybe.
now, 90% of the things that are going through just feel like drama for drama's sake, not drama for this is actually bad sake.
Just prove it.
Yeah.
Or give something likely, even.
Like in Dogpack's first video, there's a part where he goes, yeah, Mr. Beast fakes things all the time. Like, these wheels are CGI. This train is CGI. This right here is CGI. And it's like, yeah, the wheels spinning rapidly and doing a dirt mark on a bus is CGI, but that doesn't affect the video, right? The part of that video is that they were going to send the bus into a giant pit. They sent the bus into the giant pit. They just made it look better for production's sake afterwards.
It's also just a YouTube channel. Like,
Yeah.
they could be faking everything, and you're not, like, really getting lied to.
Yeah. And then they were like, at any point when...
Like, our whole set is CGI.
Yeah, like, this is not real.
You know how hard it is to get the can to float like this perfectly?
And then they're like, and if at any point you're watching a video and it's showing just like B-roll footage, but you hear somebody talking, that was added after post. It's like,
no.
okay.
It wasn't live streamed the whole time?
Like, yeah, they never said this. So there was like a video where drama was made between a group of 40-year-olds versus the rest of the people, because they did ages 1 to 100
Oh, yeah.
in a battle royale, and one of the people was like 47 or something like that, was an evil mastermind. He was just trying to be like, hey, we're gonna win this group. As long as we keep control in this instance, then we can get rid of everybody else and we win. Right? So he started this whole like evil kind of, evil in quotes, plan to hold control and kick everybody out. And it would pretty much go, 46 has control of whether or not somebody stays or leaves. And they roll and spin this board, and it's going to land on a number, right? And they can choose you leave or you stay. If they choose you leave, that person leaves and they spin again. If they choose you stay, that person stays, and now they're the person that controls the spin.
Okay.
So it's just like, logistically, if their group wants to win, to just kick out everybody that comes up. But they wanted to add more drama to it, so they would ask questions to the person, which could have been done after post, who knows. And then they would have the people that they're kicking out give their testimony for why they should be there, to make it like more emotionally impactful. Like, okay, 46, you have to kick out 38 over here. 38, why shouldn't you leave? Oh, well, I'm trying to keep care of my dad, who's currently in the hospital with stage 4 cancer, and if I'm able to win this one or even stay longer to get partial money, it's gonna help. They give their whole story, so
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like a whole thing. But it's a side little tangent that he's like, yeah, that was all added after post, and said, yeah, but it made it more engaging to watch because now there's drama to it instead of you get kicked out. I don't know. It seems like weird, but the serious things, like I was saying before, could be real, and we'll find out, I guess, eventually, maybe. And then, if not, until then, it seems weird to add in a lot of fluff, not elaborate on it, and specifically say, because Dogpack said, everything in here is alleged. He says that.
It's not
Like,
it's not weird. It's not fluff. It's literally he's making a unsolved mystery TV show. There's a reason why it's not one episode with here's the evidence and we're not sure.
yeah.
It's because they want you to watch every single episode and get invested. Like,
And then do more.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you should watch every single episode of the Kickback podcast here on YouTube.
If you watch, there is a conspiracy inside the videos themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go through and look at the clothes we're wearing each time, that's the hint. You'll figure it out. You're smart.
Ooh.
But speaking of which, we went on our drama dump, and maybe in a month we're wrong and we're bad people, but I don't think so. It just seems too nuanced or too constructed, I guess.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're right 100%. He stands by it. He loves Mr. Beast and everything he does. He doesn't think he can do anything wrong.
I didn't say that.
He said it, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.